Hey homeschool friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the video where I talk about what I am planning to use for Easter this year. So yes, I'm planning on using a program. It's a little bit looser than maybe it's originally created, but that's okay. I'm still going to show it to you. I'm very excited about it. The program I am planning to use, which you saw from the thumbnail, is the Gentle and Classical Easter Unit Study. It's only a 2-week unit study, which is partly why I was interested in it, and it's for 2 to 8-year-olds. So I had to use it before my kids get too old. So stay tuned if you want just a flip through, see all through the curriculum what it's about, as well as how I'm specifically planning on using it for this upcoming 2023 Easter season. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you've been coming for a while. So like I said, I am going to be sharing with you the Gentle and Classical Easter Unit Study. And so I have done a number of holiday flip throughs where I've compared different programs. In this case, what I just decided to do was share with you what I'm planning on using instead of sharing a bunch of different programs. So we have used Gentle and Classical resources before. The curriculum is created by Erin Cox, who's a homeschool mom. She tends to lean both Charlotte Mason as well as classical, so you'll see both elements of that in all of her programs. And I will obviously link the specific Easter unit study down below, as well as just her general website. We have used the Gentle and Classical Preschool, level 1 and level 2. We have used the old Gentle and Classical Nature, and the new one looks fantastic. So we have used a number of her products, and I just have always felt very encouraged and inspired by what she writes and just how her curriculum is set up. And when it came to this study, it's geared for more 2 to 8-year-olds, and my oldest just turned 9. So I feel like I can squeak it in for maybe one more year. So I thought, you know what, I better just do it. It has some beautiful books. It has some beautiful activities. And so let's go through that first. Let me just flip the camera around and I will show you inside Gentle and Classical Easter. Okay guys, so I obviously flipped the camera around and I want to take you through what I have. So I've set up the various books and activities, which I will explain a little bit more about these resurrection eggs in just a bit. But this is kind of the setup, plus all the crafting supplies, which I obviously didn't need to get out. But let me walk you through the guide, which is just really where this program shines. So like I said, this is Gentle and Classical Easter, a 10-day plan for 2 to 8-year-olds. And this is created by Erin Cox of the Gentle and Classical Press. So just a little information about the program. So I've zoomed in a bit and now we'll take you through the plan here. So here first is the table of contents where it talks about a welcome letter, educational approach, a book list, supply list, getting started, planning, and then Unit 1 and Unit 2. Okay, so Erin always has just some really encouraging and inspirational text to start out all of her programs. And so it's always fun to read through that, especially when it talks a bit more about her family and how they approach this Easter season. And like, for example, she talks about theologically speaking, we are non-denominational Protestant evangelical Christians. And so that's a good place to start for seeing if you are interested in this specific program. And now this gets to probably my favorite page, which is the book list. I feel like all of her programs, I get very excited when I want to see which books she has chosen, because I feel like she's just really gifted at finding really beautiful, meaningful picture books that can help solidify whatever concept she's teaching. So what she has here is it's broken into kind of 2 different sets of core books based on age. So here's the core books for 2 to 4-year-olds, and here's the core books for 4 to 8-year-olds. And then this says core books for both ages. And so I'm going to pull out what I have. So we've always had these ones. So that was another reason I thought this was a good program to actually officially use, is we're going to go back through these 2 books. God Gave Us Easter and The Garden, The Curtain, and The Cross. Oh my gosh, if you only get one book, this one, it's amazing. So those are the 2 books that are for everybody. And then here, for the 4 to 8-year-olds, which I'm sorry, those were the only ones I kind of sought out, is I picked up this one. So I love picking up kind of 1 or 2 new picture books for my kids. So this is The Donkey Who Carried a King by R.C. Sproul. I'm very excited for this book, so maybe I'll flip through it a little bit for you guys to see about how long it might be. So it's not too much text per page, but it's just beautiful pictures, as you can see. So that's just a little flip through on this book. Now, I will probably just pop this up on the screen, and I will definitely put a link in the description notes for this book on that Easter morning. Erin actually on her YouTube channel reads that book out loud, which when I saw that, I thought that was perfect. I'm just going to play that for my kids. They will just really like that. And so those are the books, at least for the 4 to 8-year-olds. And then there's some other ones over here. We'll zoom in a little bit for you for those 2 to 4-year-olds if that's where you're at. And then it gives a little extra instruction down here as to which group you should choose based on your kids' ages. Then it has some more book selections and the master supply list, and just a note on kind of how the program is organized, as well as some reference to some of the printable files, which I will pop up on the screen a bit of the ones that I plan on using. So I love the memory verses, so I'm not sure if I'm going to print that out or not, but I'll pop that up on the screen to show you kind of the memory verses that come in the printable file, as well as the storyboard printables. Oh, this is something that Erin just does an amazing job with this age group. It's kind of an early form of narration where there's a storyboard and then there's the different characters involved in the story. And this, it looks like it's the Easter story. I'll just pop up a couple pictures to show you some of the artwork involved. My plan is to print these out and then laminate them, and especially my 5-year-olds, have them reenact what we're learning. I'm not sure if it'll be based off of some of these books or if it'll just be the Easter story and the resurrection of Jesus. So that's my plan. So let's get into a little bit more. So then it goes into how this can be scheduled, which I'm going to talk a little bit more after the flip through as to my plan specifically for our family. But she does provide a schedule if that helps you. And then it breaks it into Unit 1 and Unit 2. So I'm only going to go through Unit 1 for you just to give you a good idea of how it's set up, just because I obviously don't want to show the entire program to you in this flip through. But here is Unit 1, and the first thing you notice is which books are going to be used in this unit, and it gives you obviously the ages as well as the ones that are for all ages. It gives you the scripture that's going to be memorized, the God of our Father raised up Jesus, Acts 5:30 Part A, Catechism, Who is Jesus, God's only Son, and poetry, Easter is a time of love. And so I believe that poetry and all of these are in the printable section. And then she also walks you through kind of big picture stuff. So what are you trying to get through? What are the big messages you want your kids to learn during this unit? And this breaks it up even further when you're talking kind of daily things as well as nature study and handicrafts. And this gets us to our first little craft, which we've done this in the past, and my kids loved it, to make the empty tomb, or what she's calling it, the grassy tomb. And to buy some wheatgrass is what we've done in the past. And in this case, a little small planter or even a small cup. And to plant this and be able to watch the grass grow, it's something you have to kind of start early. So I'm glad she put it in Unit 1. I actually might start this a little bit earlier because I love this one. I just think the symbolism is beautiful. I also think this is just a fun craft as well, just a stained glass cross. And then it talks a little bit more about some fun motor skills depending on your kids' ages, acts of kindness. She always has these in her different unit studies. I think I reviewed the one for Thanksgiving and it had some beautiful acts of kindness ideas. And then here's some nature study ideas. And I think the first one involves, yes, getting rocks for your garden. And then here is the Palm Sunday leaf. And I do plan on doing this one because it's very simple. It's just a paint stick and some construction paper, and it goes with this book over here, which we do plan on reading. And so that is the first unit. You can see it's just crafts as well as just really big picture ideas for how to make this season more meaningful for your kids, how to read some beautiful books in the process. I'm really looking forward to utilizing this program this Easter season. I think it's just perfect for the age of my kids. I think they're a little bit on the older side, so we might even get a little bit more out of it. But I am very excited. And so actually there's one more thing I want to show you I forgot about. So in the second unit, there's these things called resurrection eggs, which I believe she has you try to collect the different pieces in some different way, which is just beautiful, and I love that idea. I do not do that because we've had some little resurrection eggs that I picked up years ago that I believe are probably the same ideas. So I'll pop some of these open for you to see inside. So basically it's different parts of the Easter story that your kids can either go do like a scavenger hunt of sorts, or you can talk about the different pieces. I think this one's the empty tomb, honestly. I don't think there's supposed to be anything in there. Hopefully my kids haven't gotten to too much. So the rooster, the rock, and I actually can just link this on Amazon. I think it's on Amazon. The money, the pieces of silver, I guess, the cup, cloth. So anyway, I think you get the gist of this, but you can purchase these or make it. Erin has all of the instructions for making it, so that's just beautiful. And I think it's just a very fun, tangible, tactile thing your kids can use to help them understand a little bit more of Jesus's sacrifice and his resurrection. So that is what I wanted to show you on the inside, all the books, as well as the program and the little eggs that I wanted to show you. So let me flip the camera back around and let me tell you some more details of how I'm planning on using this with my family for this current year. So welcome back. I hope that flip through was helpful for you to kind of see, one, how she sets up the program, her heart behind it, as well as some of the resources. So now I want to talk a bit more about what I plan to do for it. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I have 4 kids. I have a recently turned 9-year-old, a 7.5-year-old, and twin 5-year-old. So we are definitely on the upper end of those book recommendations. So we'll be using those books from kind of the right-hand side. My plan will probably be to just kind of read them in one sitting. I'm not quite sure, but that's my general plan, and maybe read them a couple of times because I'm really excited for some of them, especially the R.C. Sproul one. It's a new one we picked up, and so we'll definitely be reading them. We just might not be following the schedule. We're going to do some of the activities, especially the ones that involve kind of the crafts, because my kids really do enjoy crafts. So probably the cross one, as well as the palm leaf, as well as I do plan on reading kind of the memory verses in the poems, because I do believe they're beautiful, but we probably won't use them too much as memory work, more as just things to talk about, kind of discussion point jump offs, if that makes sense. And so that's my general plan for how we are going to use it specifically in my family. If I had just say like the 5-year-olds, if those were my only kiddos, I probably would actually just break and take a 2-week break and do the unit study kind of full immersion. But with my older kids, I'm probably going to use this more as just a delightful extra Easter program on top of our normal curriculum. And so that's always a question I never know how or what to do with is, do I stop what we're doing, do a special unit? In this case, we're just going to continue on with ancient history and such, and then we're going to add some Easter stuff around that, which I think will be perfect. And so all in all, I hope you liked this flip through and discussion on Gentle and Classical Easter. I just think her programs are just beautiful and sweet, and I just love how they're just very focused on Jesus, on his sacrifice, especially during this time of year. I feel like that message can be brought to life using books and activities and just imagery for the kids that can just really help them wrap their heads around a hard concept of Jesus dying on the cross. And so I love that about this program. That's really what helped me land on Erin's curriculum. It's just that central message. And then it's also easy. It's easy to implement, and I need that. I need very simple crafts. I need simple things. Like I already said, I have the resurrection eggs, so I don't have to go collecting any of that stuff. I just already had it in our bin, and so it's just kind of easy. It's easy to implement, and so I feel like it will be implemented if it's easy. But that is what I have to show you. And so I hope this was a good peek inside a potential curriculum that you might be interested in, especially if you are similar to me and you love books but don't have a ton of time, but also just want to make this season memorable for my kids. So if you found the video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to. I will also link all my other reviews of all the other gentle and classical programs I've used if you are curious about her stuff. But that's what I have. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the next homeschool video. All right, take care. Bye.